Hey guys, nothingwired.com, and we finally got hold of our first of Canon's 2013 Powershot lineup. This is the brand new Canon Powershot A2600. It's almost identical to last year's A2500 except that it has a slightly larger 3-inch LCD monitor compared to the 2.7-inch monitor of the A2500. We did not notice any other obvious changes to demand a 3000 difference between these two models. A2500 cost about 6000, whereas this model cost 8995, that is about 9000. So let's go ahead and quickly see what's in the box. We've already opened the box though, but I'm gonna show you what comes with this particular box anyway. So you have the usual pale almond color box that are reserved for Canon's entry-level point and shoot cameras. When you open the box, you will find a velvet pouch there. There you see, you will also have a 4GB card inside. Then you have your quick start pamphlet there. Then you have your warranty card. By the way, it has a 2-year warranty in India. And then you have your wall adapter, then your power cord there. Then you have your tiny shoulder strap. Then you have the NB11L 680 mAh battery. You get a 4GB card free with this. And finally we have the Canon Powershot A2600. Isn't it a gorgeous device? There you go. There have been an absolute design overhaul in the Powershot A series of Canon, from the really forgettable designs a few years ago to some gorgeous devices like this one that are generally reserved for the XS series. So the Powershots are meant to have the power, but now the A series, which is like the entry level of the Powershot series, also comes with a style statement of their own. Now you can see here, this is the red model. You also get a number of other colors including silver and black, and you see there are two distinct color here. You have a red tone here, and then the rest of the body is silver. It's beautiful. The red color is very precisely chosen so that it does not give a loud impression. This whole matte metal mount. Then you have some very high quality plastic on the buttons here, and then you have the 3-inch glass LCD monitor. It's not a touchscreen though. So it's actually too sassy, you know. There is a gap here, but then Canon has done a great job in minimizing the gaps in the joints. So overall, wherever two body meets, we generally are very wary about prominent gaps, and which loses the style a bit. But then in this case, these two colors and two different chassis actually is giving this whole camera an amazingly classy look. We really fell in love at the first sight. I'll tell you what, if you are really in for the silver model, then I would say you should really check out this or some other colors, because in the silver model, the behind and the side, this chassis is always silver in all model. Only this, the front part, the colors differ. So when you buy a silver model, you will practically have a single color of the whole body. So that's individual taste, but I would like the combination of two contrast color like in this one. It's really gorgeous, I'll tell you. So it's very light, fits in your palm nicely. It will easily go into a pocket or in your purse if you're a lady, and You can carry it to anywhere, to any party. Quickly take it out, take some good shots, mostly in auto modes. Nice little device. So on the front side you have the Canon zoom lens there. So it's a 5 to 25 mm lens, which translates to about 28 till 140 mm in 35 mm equivalent. It has an aperture range of f by 2.8 till 6.9. 6.9 at 140 mm is really slow, but then this camera is not meant for your highest level of performance anyway. So you have a 5x optical zoom, you also have a 4x digital zoom, so the total zoom becomes 20x. 16 megapixel maximum still resolution. This guy also records at HD, that is 1280 by 720p videos. On top you have the power button there, the zoom lever, the shutter release button. You have the autofocus assist lamp there, the flash. On the side you have one single port that doubles as the AV as well as digital out. Then you have the eyelet for your shoulder strap. On this side there is practically nothing. On the back side you have the 3-inch LCD, which is not a touchscreen, as I told you before. You have your dedicated video button at just the right place, your help button, 4-way dial, menu button, and the playback button. Below you have the tripod socket and your SD card and battery compartment. So this guy takes almost all forms of popular SD cards. Now let's check out the interface once. I'm gonna switch on the device and you see this nice black patches on the lens that will enhance the style statement. So here you have your display info. Press this to toggle between displaying the info or not. So there are only two modes here. You have a flash mode, auto flash, or flash won't fire, two modes again. Then you have an eco mode that will quickly switch off or make the LCD go to sleep to save the battery life. It greatly, significantly increases the number of maximum shots that you can take in one battery life. Will you see? Press anything to come back to life. So once you switch this on, now the LCD will go to the sleep mode according to what you set in the menu. So the menu has your shooting settings there, lamp, dead stamp, etc. It also has a setup menu. There you see power saving, so I have power setting off or on. So if you do not have the eco mode switch on, the display will go off according to this. Then you have your 5-level brightness adjustment of the LCD, and then that's pretty much about it. You can select NTSC or PAL. In NTSC you can take a max at 30 frames per second, in PAL at 25 frames per second. This is in auto mode. As you can see, the camera automatically selects the scene in auto mode and shoots the picture according to the settings that the camera deems the best. So it literally becomes a point and shoot camera. If you do not prefer the auto mode, simply press this and you will go to the semi-automatic mode that you've set up in function. So there you see live. You can also have a program, you can also have some other effects and filters. There you see. This reminds me that this model A2600 does not have an optical image stabilization, so it depends on digital image stabilization, which actually acts on the stabilization after the image is formed and is an inferior technology to the optical image stabilization. The older A2400 used to have the optical image stabilization, and that cost almost as much as this one. So those are the modes. And in semi-automatic mode you can also change your ISO. So 1600 mode is only available in P mode, and ISO goes up to 6400 in low light mode, but not in all other modes. You can also set your white balance settings there. Auto is generally recommended, then your metering, exposure compensation scale, self timer, focus range, drive mode, recording pixels, the maximum size. So there you see you have 16 MP maximum size, and there you have 1280 by 720 maximum video resolution. Yep. So there we come back to the shooting mode there. Press this again to come to the auto mode. Press this, start shooting, almost no lag as you can see. Press this again to finish shooting. Press this to quickly have the help on the thing that you're doing right now. Press this again to go off. So if I press function, you have the playback mode. There you see. In playback mode the menu differs. You can have a slideshow, you can also set up a photo book, you can have some basic editing like erasing or rotating, eye contrast which enhances the contrast a bit, but then there are not many retouch options here. There are some printing and other settings, then you again have the same system settings. So that's pretty much about the whole setting. The setting is pretty intuitive, and it does not have a very tall learning curve. So even people not familiar with this kind of devices, if they spend just a little time, they can easily be familiarized with this menu. The icons are big, so it would literally be no problem even for older people to use this camera. One thing we really would have liked is to replace the eco mode with something more useful, because eco mode is not something that you would require frequent change, or you require to change just at that moment, that critical moment. So we could have something else like an ISO or maybe WB or maybe even the macro mode here, which could prove as some very critical functions at times. So that's about the user interface. The performance of the A2600 is just above average. It's only tad better than probably the best smartphone out there. Under enough light, the close-up objects show good level of detail, but as you zoom in, you will see the noise started appearing and the details getting lost. It gets really worse under low light, where anything above ISO 800 will show a lot of grains. Under low light, another problem arises because this model does not have an optical image stabilization, so shakes happen very often. So if you're shooting at a low ISO level, be prepared to have a very shaky picture. However, if you use auto ISO or the totally auto mode, the camera does a fair job of capturing the details. It shows severe purple fringing, that is chromatic aberration on the left side of the picture at wide end. At tele end also it shows slight bit of blue fringing. The barrel distortion is present again at the wide end. The macro shots are good. Overall, I would say the picture quality is that of an entry-level compact point and shoot, and you cannot expect a tech sharp photo, but then yes, under enough light this just about does the job. The Powershot A2600 is not much different from the last year's A2500. In fact, they are almost identical piece, except that this guy has a slightly bigger LCD monitor at 3 inch to the 2.7 inch that the A2500 has. Now there is a 3000 price difference. This guy cost about 9,000 Indian rupees and the A2500 cost about 6,000 Indian rupees. Whether the A2600 deserves that 3,000 difference only on the basis of the LCD, we would say no. But because it's a new lineup, although it has the same image processing engine, it has a slightly refined look, I would say, and slightly better performance under low light than the A2500. I know both are using the same image processing engine, but our practical results show slight improvement in the A2600. Maybe it's the way, maybe it's the mirror, maybe it's the glass, the way it handles the details are slightly better. It's really an individualistic thing whether you would rather spend the 3,000 bucks. If you're gonna spend 10,000 anyway, then I would say you can go for this over the A2500. But then if you're really hard pressed for budget, then A2500 also won't set you back much. Thank you.